Indianapolis 500, Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific on ABC. Telecast presented by Firestone.
New York City decided the 2015 NBA Draft Lottery. The place is abuzz. There's a charge of juice, electricity in the air. The lottery balls get ready to pop, and some of the best draft-eligible talent here in the room. Karl Anthony Towns out of the SEC champs, the Kentucky Wildcats. Jahlil Okafor from the national champs, the Duke Blue Devils. Get ready to take the next step in his career. And the president of the Pacers, Larry Bird, the Hall of Famer, ready to get his team back into the playoffs. And Russell Westbrook, All-Star Game MVP, had one of his best moments this year right here in New York City as MVP of the All-Star Game. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones alongside Jay Billis. Welcome back to the Midtown Hyatt Ballroom, Hilton Ballroom, as we get set to unveil the top picks in the draft lottery. Jay, early on, we talked about players and how much talent there is in this draft. Who do you have available in your top five?
Well, there's a ton of talent in this draft and a ton of really good guys, too. This is a high-character draft, but you start out with two big guys, and that's Jahlil Okafor at Duke and Karl Anthony Towns at Kentucky. Okafor, the dominant low-post player. Towns, more versatile, a guy who can step away. D'Angelo Russell, who I feel may be the best pure basketball player in this draft. Left-handed out of Ohio State, 6'5", an excellent passer. And Emmanuel Mudiay, who played this last season in China, guy who's got great size and is really explosive and sees the game in slow motion. And Justice Winslow, left-hander, the wing from Duke, who had a great year. That would round out the top five. But Chris Porzingis from Latvia, who played in Spain, they call him Zinger. He's another guy who could slip into that top five as well. He's a top five talent.
You talk about Mudiay, much like Exum last year, maybe this year's international man of mystery. Well, the lottery involves the teams that did not qualify for this year's playoffs. It's weighted so that the teams with the worst records have the best chance of securing the top pick. The actual lottery drawing will determine only the top three picks in the draft. Picks 4 through 14 then fall to the remaining teams in reverse order of the regular season records. Now, earlier today, our Heather Cox was granted special access to the room in which it all happens.
Thanks, Mark. This is the room here in the hotel where the actual draft lottery takes place this evening. Sequestered in this room will be representatives from each of the 14 teams participating in tonight's lottery. They'll be joined by NBA executives, officials from the accounting firm of Ernst & Young, as well as 12 members of the national media. Now, once inside, no communication with the outside world, no cell phones, no internet, and certainly no tweeting. So here's how the process works. There are 14 ping pong balls that will be numbered 1 through 14 and dropped into this lottery machine. 4 balls will then be randomly drawn to create a 4-digit combination. Now, the team that had the worst record will be assigned the most 4-digit combinations, giving them the best chance to win. This year, it's the Minnesota Timberwolves with 250 of the possible 1,000 combinations. Now, once the numbers are drawn, that 4-digit number is then assigned to the board to determine who gets that number 1 pick. The process is then repeated for the second and third picks. These ones here, they're just for practice. The real balls used tonight are locked inside this briefcase. So let's see how the machine works. Release the ball, flip the switch, and away we go.
All right, Heather, get those good luck charms ready, folks. Here's a look at the probabilities of each team winning the number 1 overall pick. The Minnesota Timberwolves have the best odds at 25%, followed by the Knicks at just under 20%, and the 76ers at 15.6%. Also, folks, the Heat and Lakers, remember now, could lose their lottery selections due to prior trades, with both picks possibly going to the 76ers. Now, if the 76ers end up with 3 lottery picks, that would be an NBA first and NBA record. Jay, last year we were talking about a couple of wing players at the top with Wiggins and Jabari Parker. This year we're talking about Okafor and Karl Anthony Towns. How do you see their respective strengths?
Well, two guys that have a great future in the NBA, but they're different players. Karl Anthony Towns, perhaps the more versatile player that can step away. He's very good in the low post, can go over either shoulder. I think a guy who needs to get a little bit stronger and improve his low post base in order to hold position. But he can go both ways. He's an excellent post player. I think he's going to refine his post game, but he can block shots. Got a 7'3" wingspan, excellent timing. and a really good defensive rebounder as well. But you really like his ability to step away from the basket. He can knock down a face-up jumper. He can also put the ball on the floor, so he's got a very good skill level. Okafor's a bit of a different player. He's the more dominant low-post player. Huge hands, great feet. He's the type of player that commands a double team down in the low post, and when that double team comes, he's a very good passer out of a double team with those gigantic hands. He can just rifle the ball to open people. He's an excellent finisher around the basket. The ball just dives into the hoop. He gets fouled a great deal and does need to improve his free throw shooting. He shot around 50%. That was one of the second lowest, I think, in the country. But that's something I think he will improve, and I think he'll have the ability to step away and knock down a perimeter jumper to about 15, 17 feet as well.
All right, Heather Cox standing by with both those talented bigs right now.
Yeah, it was pretty fun to watch the two of them watching themselves. It doesn't get old, does it? Especially on the big screen. Carl Anthony, your dad said that he actually talked to Coach Calipari about being tough on you when you were at Kentucky. How do you think all that tough love is helping prepare you really for the pressure and the expectations that come with being a top pick in the NBA?
I just think that it's going to help me tremendously. Be able to take criticism and be able to use it to excel was a big thing for me, and also just being able to use everything he taught me and the criticism he gave me to my advantage, and also to make me a better player.
Well, best of luck to you. Enjoy every part of this process. And Jaleel, we're going to stay with the dad theme here, because your dad actually said that when you were 16 months old, he'd watch you wad up a sock and throw it into a wire hanger rim. That's when he knew. But at what point did you know that this NBA dream could be a reality?
Well, for as long as I can remember, I always had dreams of playing in the NBA. I don't really remember the story about me with the sock, but my dad called it ghetto basketball, and we would put the hanger in a basketball door. But that's always been my dream. Second grade, I just recall playing on a Nintendo 64 and telling my dad and telling my mom I want to play with myself on a video game one day.
Here's to you both making your dreams come true. Congrats. Mark?
All right, yeah, I remember seeing Karl Anthony Towns play as a 16-year-old in FIBA basketball. His improvement has really been marked. And speaking of international players, Jay, one guy that was in your top 5 that not many people have seen a lot of, Emmanuel Mudiay, who has had a very interesting route to get to this point. Very circuitous of sorts. He was born in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, then moved to Texas as a young child, where he went on to play basketball at 2 different high schools. He committed to play initially for Larry Brown at SMU. However, last summer, Mudiay made the decision to forego college and play overseas in China. Mudiay standing by right now with Heather.
Mark, thank you so much. As Mark just said, you grew up in the Congo. You were originally committed to SMU, then decided to go overseas to China. So how do you think that experience better prepares you for this next upcoming NBA experience?
I think it prepared me in a good sense, because we playing, NBA rules with 24-second shot clock, the traveling, you playing every other night. So I think it did me well going over there.
Now, it's interesting because everybody's calling you the mystery man, the dark horse, the one that might surprise everybody in the draft. So what is it about you and your game that nobody knows about you?
I'm just a competitor. That's one thing that I'm big on, is winning. And that's one thing I want to come in doing, is just being labeled as a winner.
We're looking forward to it. We'll see you June 25th at the draft. Mark?
All right, thanks a lot, Heather. Certainly has a pro-ready body. Look at the ballroom here at the Midtown Hilton. And don't forget, coming up right after this, it's Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. James Harden, Steph Curry, a couple of top guys for the MVP balloting.
Introducing the State Farm National Bureau of Assists. Sebastian Curry, twin of Stephen Curry, has a master's in disasters. Summer Bird, twin of Sue Bird, stops at nothing except stoplights. Darius Lillard, twin of Damian Lillard, says there's no I in assist. Don Stockton, twin of John Stockton, Chief Assist Officer. And of course, Cliff Paul, assisting, has a new starting 5.
Thanks for coming. We want a spirited performance.
Who offers the most horsepower?
Lincoln MKC. We also want clever thinking in a tight spot. Anyone offer hands-free in and out park assist? Lincoln MKC. Bravo.
It's the final days of the Lincoln Luxury Uncovered event. Lease the MKC for $329 a month. And for a limited time, competitive owners and lessees get $1,000 bonus cash.
At Domino's, we're known for delivery, but we want to be great at carry-out, too. So to help one store get better, we put them to the test.
The customers go in.
Send more customers.
Coming through.
Send more. Send more.
We have to pay you in change, but they're like mostly smart. They are coming at me.
All right, send them all in.
Looks like practice makes perfect.
Great.
Put your store to the test and carry out large 3-topping pizzas for only $7.99 each every Monday through Thursday.
Hey, don't forget, coming up immediately after the draft lottery, Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, Steph Curry, who led the league in threes made this year, the reigning MVP, going up against James Harden, Dwight Howard, and the Houston Rockets. And right now, let's go over to Heather to introduce the team representatives, starting with OKC.
Mark, thank you so much. First of all, to all of you, welcome and best of luck. And now for the introductions. Let's start with the Oklahoma City Thunder, represented by Russell Westbrook, 4th in MVP voting this year. And Russell, this is unfamiliar territory for us. We are not used to seeing you here. We're used to still seeing you play.
Right.
So what can you do tonight to help your team for the future?
You see my shirt? Yeah. All right. There you go. There you go.
That's a good luck shirt.
Oh, yeah, you good. We good.
Always making a fashion statement,
always,
you are, Russ.
Always.
All right, next up for the Phoenix Suns, center Alex Len. Tonight, Alex is proud to host his special guest, Jared Ornosky, who is here as an honorary member of the team's front office for his courageous and inspirational battle with Hodgkin's lymphoma. And from the Utah Jazz, please welcome General Manager Dennis Lindsey. And tonight, the Indiana Pacers are represented by Team President Larry Bird. And Larry, 6 of the 11 guys here tonight actually played in the Final Four in your backyard in Indianapolis. You had up-close view of it all. So how would you characterize this year's draft class?
I'd like to take a couple home with me, but I know that's probably not going to happen. But it's an honor to host the NCAA tournament in Indiana. We're very proud of that. But the talent pool this year is very good. There's a lot of good players out there. So all of us sitting up here tonight should be happy for that.
All right, Larry, best of luck to you tonight. And here with the Miami Heat, please welcome Vice President of Player Programs, Alonzo Mourning. And tonight, forward Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, representing his team, the Charlotte Hornets. Next, please welcome Jeff Bauer, General Manager of the Detroit Pistons. And from the Denver Nuggets, President Josh Kroenke. Next, please welcome Vlade Divac, the Sacramento Kings Vice President of Basketball Franchise Operations. And Vlade, I hate to say this, but 9 years straight, the Sacramento Kings have been here at the draft lottery. So how do you hope to break that streak tonight?
Be lucky tonight.
Any lucky charms, sir?
Well, we think positive. I think the fortune circles around, so I hope tonight's out there tonight.
And I hear you're the lucky charm. You were actually the Lakers pick the year that the Kings had the #1 pick. So we'll see if that works.
Exactly. 89 was the last time when the Kings had #1, so here I am again.
All right, good luck, Vlade. Now please welcome Orlando Magic CEO, Alex Martins. And from the Los Angeles Lakers, head coach Byron Scott. And representing the Philadelphia 76ers, the 6th pick overall in the 2013 draft, bringing it, Nerlens Noel. And tonight, the New York Knicks are represented by General Manager Steve Mills. And finally, with a 25% chance of winning the first pick in the draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves, represented by team owner Glenn Taylor. Good luck, everyone. Mark, they are all hoping that Lady Luck is on their side tonight.
Trying to sway Lady Luck their way. Minnesota trying to add to a young and talented core. And thanks, Heather. It's almost the time that we've all been waiting for, under escort by Senior Vice President and Chief Security Officer Jerome Pickett. Here's the only person in our studio who knows the results. Denise Pelly from the accounting firm of Ernst & Young, who's delivering the sealed envelopes to the stage. We'll find out the fate of each of the 14 teams when we come back.
The past 2 years have not seen one running back selected in the first round of the draft. That certainly puts a lot of pressure on Melvin Gordon III to justify the selection. I don't think anyone doubts his ability as a runner, but will he be able to become a consistent threat out of the backfield? He has the potential to be a star. Only time will tell.
Speed Stick gear for moments that matter.
Easy, boy. I know you're excited, but you're not going out there without your coat on. Yeah!
Meguiar's Paint Protect applies easier than wax for 365 days worth of water-beating durability.
Easy, girl.
Did you see it coming? These two characters survived the Wild West. The most feared offensive.
And the comeback is complete.
The Golden Boy.
Now Thompson, Curry again, the MVP.
Who will rule this side of the land? Who will go home? Who will take the stage next?
Razor, Ranger, Sportsman, Ace. If you live for the outdoors, there's a Polaris to match your passion. Confident, comfortable, capable. That's Ace. With a solo cockpit, automotive controls, independent suspension, all-wheel drive, and up to 45 horses of fuel-injected power. Calling it revolutionary would be an understatement. Polaris, the world leader in off-road innovation.
These are no longer cars. They no longer roar, or screech, or skid, or speed. If a lion doesn't hunt, is it still a lion? Don't protect your car so it can look nice. Protect it so it can look mean. Don't fear the wear and tear. Be it. Just be ready for it. Turtle Wax Ice with Smart Shield technology. Protect the body, free the soul.
Hard to believe it's been just over 30 years since former New York Knicks executive vice president Dave DeBusschere was sweating profusely during the NBA draft lottery and then breathing a huge sigh of relief once the Knicks were awarded the #1 pick.
The New York Knicks savoring this moment. The crowd here at the Felt Forum in Madison Square Garden very excited to see staff members from the Knicks there. They're on the phone looking like John Thompson. They're making a big decision, but we know differently. And here's David Stern with the announcement.
Select Patrick Ewing.
Well, suffice it to say that pick will go down in Knicks history. Ewing going on to become the team's all-time leading scorer and one of the 50 greatest players in NBA history. The Knicks can only hope to find similar luck here tonight, 30 years later. Well, one last look at the probabilities of each team winning the #1 overall pick. The Minnesota Timberwolves have the best odds at 25%, followed by the Knicks at just under 20, the 76ers at 15.6, and also, remember now, the Heat and the Lakers could lose their lottery selections due to prior trades with both picks possibly going to the 76ers. If the 76ers end up with 3 lottery picks, that would be an NBA record. And right now it's time to be joined by NBA Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum to reveal the final order of the 2015 NBA Draft. Mark?
Thank you, Mark. Good luck, everyone. The 14th pick goes to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
In case you missed it, the Thunder have hired Billy Donovan as their new head coach.
Pick number 13 will be made by the Phoenix Suns.
The Suns averaged 18.2 fast break points per game, 3rd in the NBA.
The 12th pick belongs to the Utah Jazz.
The Jazz finished strong after the All-Star break, going 19-10.
Picking 11 will be the Indiana Pacers.
This will be the Pacers' first lottery selection since 2010 when they selected Paul George 10th overall. Things holding to form so far.
The 10th pick in the draft will go to the Miami Heat.
So the Heat keep their pick. If it had fallen outside the top 10, it would have gone to Philadelphia.
Pick number 9 will be made by the Charlotte Hornets.
The Hornets went 27-28 with Michael Kidd-Gilchrist in the lineup, who finished in the top 10 in Defensive Player of the Year voting.
The 8th pick goes to the Detroit Pistons.
The Pistons had 32 wins this season, the most since the 08-09 season. Things still holding to form.
7th pick will be made by the Denver Nuggets.
This is only the Nuggets' second year in the lottery since 2003 when they selected Carmelo Anthony with the number 3 pick.
Pick number 6 belongs to the Sacramento Kings.
This will be the Kings' last season in Sleep Train Arena with their new building set to open October 2016.
Pick number 5 goes to the Orlando Magic.
This will be the Magic's 5th first-round pick since 2012.
And the 4th pick in the 2015 NBA Draft goes to the New York Knicks.
Which means that the Los Angeles Lakers have moved into the top 3. And then there were 3. The Los Angeles Lakers, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. The final 3 teams still in the running to snatch that number 1 selection. We'll find out who gets it on the other side.
There comes a time when even an all-star sister can use some assistance himself.
Do I need to be worried about identity theft? Everybody does. So that's when somebody tries to use my name? My likeness? Yes, sir. Like if they try to look like me, but with a fake mustache? Yeah. And glasses? Yes, exactly. I think I'm gonna need some help with that.
When assisting is in your blood, you know it.
Before Little Caesars created the new bacon-wrapped deep dish pizza topped with pepperoni and bacon and wrapped in over 3.5 feet of bacon, we only had one question. Is this much bacon even legal?
Now, I'm just a small-town pizza lawyer, but I do declare that wrapping these 8 crispy corners of pizza in over 3.5 feet of bacon is perfectly legal.
Great! Get a large bacon-wrapped deep dish pizza hot and ready 4 to 8 and only $12 only at Little Caesars. World's easiest way to pizza.
Pizza. Oh, it's all perfectly legal.
The past 2 years have not seen one running back selected in the first round of the draft. That certainly puts a lot of pressure on Melvin Gordon III to justify the selection. I don't think anyone doubts his ability as a runner, but will he be able to become a consistent threat out of the backfield? He has the potential to be a star. Only time will tell.
Speed Stick gear for moments that matter.
Indianapolis 500, Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific on ABC. Telecast presented by Firestone.
His talent level is just ridiculous. Kyle's the top shot blocker for this Kentucky team. They keep going inside to Okafor. He keeps piling up the points. Russell for 3. Russell is free again. And the great half continues. There is Winslow at his best. He is almost unstoppable in transition.
People love him, love his wingspan, his athleticism.
Catch up and hear from some of the great talent on hand here tonight, the future of the league. We take a look and peer through the window of what's coming up, and what's coming up next is Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Dwight Howard of the Rockets with a few moments of introspection and meditation before that big contest coming up immediately following the NBA Draft Lottery. Welcome back, everyone, to Midtown Manhattan as we have 3 teams remaining. Byron Scott representing the Los Angeles Lakers, their head coach. Last time they had the number 1 pick was 1982 when he took his teammate James Worthy. The 76ers, last time they had the number 1 pick, they had Allen Iverson in 1996. The Minnesota Timberwolves and owner Glenn Taylor looking for their first ever number 1 selection. So joining me once again to announce the order of the final 3 picks, here is NBA Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum. Mark?
Thanks again, Mark. The 3rd pick in this year's draft goes to the Philadelphia 76ers. The 2nd pick will be made by the Los Angeles Lakers. And that means that the #1 pick in the 2015 NBA draft goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
So the first time ever, Minnesota will take home the #1 pick in the NBA draft on June 25th. You'll see it on ESPN from just across town here at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. There is a look at the final order. Minnesota #1. The Lakers move up from 4 to 2. The 76ers stay in the 3 hole. And, well, the big news of the night, I guess you'd have to say the New York Knicks falling from 3 to 4. And Heather is standing by with owner Glenn Taylor. Heather?
Mark, thanks so much. Glenn, hard to believe this is the first time that the team with the best odds has gotten the #1 pick since 2004. How can you quantify what this #1 pick can do for your franchise?
Well, it's very important to us. We have a young team, and one more outstanding young man would probably really help us.
What kind of void in your lineup do you think that this pick can fill?
Well, I think we just want a young man that's got a great heart and a great mind.
Well, I hope that for you. Good luck on June 25th. We're looking forward to it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mark, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Heather. As the Timberwolves look to add to that talented core, which included this year's Rookie of the Year, Andrew Wiggins. And joining us now to give a little perspective on the team with the #1 pick is our Tom Penn, who has spent 11 years in NBA front offices, most recently 2007 to 2010 with the Portland Trail Blazers. Tom, thanks for joining us. So where do you think this #1 pick fits in Minnesota's plans in your view in the big picture?
Wow, what a win for Minnesota. You talk about talented core. Look where it starts. It starts with Wiggins, the reigning Rookie of the Year. You go around the perimeter. You've got Ricky Rubio, who's young and evolving. You've got Zach LaVine at the shooting guard for the future with so much hope. Where are you missing it? Where are you missing it, Minnesota? It's in the middle. Pekovic is great, but he doesn't play all the time. He's been hurt, and he's not a pillar for the future. You got 2 great options, Karl Anthony Towns, Jahlil Okafor, the presumptive #1 pick. One of these 2 guys. Take your pick, Flip Saunders, put them here in the middle, and you are going to be thrilled with what you have in Minnesota. You now have an anchor in the middle, whether it's Okafor or Towns. And then think about this guy here as well, Wiggins. You have pillars to build around via the draft. This is the way it's supposed to work, and they're dancing in the streets in Minneapolis right now. Great, great for them.
All right, Tom, we can hear them from here in New York. Thanks a lot for joining us and your valuable perspective. Jay, when it comes down to June, you know, he talked about Pekovic, who is on the mend a little bit. They've got some money and some years tied up in him. Does that affect the dynamic of who you would take #1?
It wouldn't for me, and I'm not sure it will for Minnesota either. And who knows, you may trade the pick. Who knows what's going to happen. But you've got a great choice to make. And the one thing you know when you've got the #1 pick is you're going to get the person that you want. You're not waiting for somebody else to make a decision. You're going to make a decision off of it. So if you want the more dominant low-post player, you go with Okafor. If you want the more versatile big guy, you go with Towns. And it's a good problem to have to be able to make that choice between 2 outstanding prospects.
Well, one thing for sure, in the Western Conference, you really need to load up on as much talent as you can get your hands on. And certainly a great opportunity for the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. Lady Luck smiling on them all the way from Minneapolis here to New York City. That's it from here in New York City. Now that the results have been revealed, go to NBA Game Time app or NBA.com to view video, actual video of the drawing. Timberwolves have won the first pick of the 2015 NBA draft. Right now, we're going to send it over to the countdown crew out in Oakland. Sage.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, certainly some interesting reaction on this set as well. Doug Collins, Jalen Rose, your thoughts on what just transpired, all the drama